everyone, and welcome back. It's Figure Friday once again, and here we are looking at the Clone Wars Commando Droid, and we also have a droid I probably should have done a while ago. We have from Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ned B. So let's first start off with Ned B with what they have written here. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is set years after the dramatic events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where Kenobi faced the corruption of his friend and Jedi apprentice, Anakin Skywalker. Okay, now, I was kind of hoping that they'd go a little bit more into it. I believe he was, for the most part, like a loader droid and has some loyalty to everyone, so he does pick up a hammer and kind of help to protect. Now, I did buy two of these. These were actually fairly inexpensive compared to the Commando droids, which I pre-ordered, so I got them at a normal price. I think if you were to buy them today, they are a little bit more expensive because they just came out. So we will have to see where the prices go from there, but I believe that they're probably going to stay a little on the higher side, seeing that they are popular droids. So we'll get our standout here. We have the droid itself. We also have a backpack that goes along with it. This looks more like a battery pack or such, so that way we can get a little extended work time out of our droid. And this looks like it's all supposed to kind of snap in together a little bit, or at least look like it does. Not really. There we are. Yeah, we're getting there snapped in. All right, probably for the power flow. If I can get it to go. It doesn't help when you have big fingers. All right, and right into there. I think we got her snapped in. Okay, so we have the backpack all snapped in, all ready to roll. So now he's got a little bit of extra battery power here. And we have a handle there. Okay. So, taking a peek at him, and then he's got some accessories. He has his hammer as well as a blaster that I believe he picks up. Looking at the standard joints, of course, we're going to be able to go up and down, and they do have our twist function, which is wonderful because if you have them spread apart so he stands a little bit better, if you do not have a base, sometimes that does work. Like a lot of droids, we had somebody in a suit, obviously, here, but it worked out really well. I thought the droid was done fairly nicely, was a taller droid in comparison to your standard person. But we do not have all the extra flexibility. We do have above and below the knee swivel here. So I do want to point that out so you can kind of kick that back a little bit, one way or the other. All right, and it's only a single knee joint, and with the way the armor is, you don't have the best maneuverability out of that, although we can have him sit if we had a chair. We could get that to happen, and twisting is up here, and you're going to be limited because of the armor. The way that armor sits with everything, you're not going to get a lot of extra movement there, but that's fine. I mean, it's a droid. We're looking at these as being workers. Most notably, I'm thinking that this is going to be more of a loader droid. The color kind of says this is a nice working droid. Nice friendly personality. I don't know if he's got a vocabulator in there or not, but he does have the visual sensors, probably human standard. We do have, I got a bunny trying to rearrange a cage. We do have some spikes coming out here, which could very well be a vocabulator. And maybe originally they came out with one, and I don't remember if it actually spoke or not. But, if you're on a backwater planet, sometimes not all the maintenance gets done because it's harder to get that maintenance, and that is one of the things about Star Wars. When you get to the inner core, you find more droids in use, and the droids become a lot of the labor force to do all the things that the people don't want to do, or becomes too hazardous to do. And regrettably, you get to the outer rim and areas where you don't have availability to mechanics and to parts and so on and so forth, you don't get as many droids, but you get some slave labor. And, it's not really the funnest and best thought things. I mean, but it is kind of the way the galaxy has kind of worked out. Slavery in the Old Republic was kind of banned and all that. Under the Empire, it was kind of brushed under the carpet a little bit. But that's, again, to denote that the Empire is not a nice, happy, friendly place all the time. So keeping it in those regards. All right, so we do have the open hand, so we can put his hammer in here. So if he's got a hammer steel or whatever else, we can do that. If I can get the hammer to go in here. I'm struggling a little bit. All right, we got her. Okay, trying to get it past that first, because this does flare up just like your standard hammer does, or axe or whatever. This is a nice nice maul here, so we can really kind of just hammer. Now, we do have a twist above and below, so we can see that we can twist here as well as twist right there. We don't have the extra movement. Looks like he's only got a single shoulder, so we don't have the extra movement there. And then we can move our wrist in here, and our wrist can move in on that side. But he's got the extra armor here to try and help protect all the joints and all the key parts there. Now, if you guys know a little bit better as to what he was supposed to be for, I remember watching the show, but I just don't remember exactly what he was supposed to be for. I think, in my mind, I look at him and say he's probably a loader utility droid, and he may have been put into or pressed into service for something else. But exactly what he was doing, I know that there was a spot where they were kind of hammering stuff out, like they're smithing some stuff, and that might be what he was really doing. He does come with our standard droid blaster, so we do have that here. It's got the scope and all that stuff on there. And he's a nice looking figure. I mean, kind of a nice guy. It's nice having droids. To me, it's always kind of a Star Wars feel to have the droids. Star Trek, we get the ships, and the ships do everything that they can to accommodate you. But in Star Wars, it's more menial tasks. They had to run in with computers kind of going awry when everything was all interconnected. I think there was like a virus or whatever. They had computers all slaved together for starships, and then they lost an entire fleet. So, those are issues that they said, you know what, let's just keep this down to a little bit more basic. We'll have separate droids. And we see a lot of different personality in the droids. I mean, whether you want to consider them as sentient beings of their own, which is perfectly fine in my regards, but they are definitely filled with their own personalities. So, all right, so let's get him off to the side here. And of course, we do have our he's got wider feet, so I'm not going to worry about putting him there or on the base. I think he stands pretty good on his own. All right, and the Commando droid, if I'm going to have one, I'm definitely going to have two, like I've done with a lot of the other droids. So here we are. He's obviously got the smaller head. This is a nicely retooled body. This is not the same droid that we had for the standard droid. And if you remember from the show, they were much more acrobatic, able to actually do things that the standard battle droids just really weren't able to do. A little bit more free thinkers to try and come up with solutions to different problems and all that. So they were a little bit, quite a bit better of an upgrade. They do come with a sword. So You know, as far as for fighting for, you know, trying to stay quiet and everything else, they have that availability. When we look at the, I mean, they have small joints here, but we still have the same twists and all that we typically have. But these are smaller joints. Again, we don't have a double knee or anything, which I don't know how you would do that on this. We can flare this up and down a little bit so you get a good range of motion. We could do almost a full kick. Let's see here. Trying to get him so he looks like he's going to give someone a good kick here. I think we could kind of pull that off. Let's see. Of course, we do have a little bit of a twist here, as well as up on top there. He's not going to do crunches, I will say that. That's not something we're going to be allowed to do. Getting into our arms, obviously we do have just our single joint. It's dropped down a little bit, but the way that joint moves, it's here and it's right. It's like a double ball joint. Not fully done, but pretty nice. Let's see. The arm goes back, goes forward pretty well, and of course we have, and I can see the joint is going to go back and forth here a little bit, so that works out really well. And we're going to have, we're going to have the same here as well. We're not going to do the up and down. We're going to have the same on that side, just mirror image of each other. But now he's got a smaller footprint. I mean, he does stand up pretty good. He's got nice long feet, but I feel like he's probably going to be a little bit better with a base. So let's keep him with a base so I know I don't knock him around like I just did Ned here. But Ned definitely has some nice wide feet in comparison, so I don't know how well you guys can see that. Yes, you guys can. Okay. He definitely has some nice wide feet, but there again, this was all CGI for 3D animation, and of course, this is I'm guessing probably a bodybuilder of some sort or whatever, but we have someone standing in that suit trying to do everything in there, and they did a really good job from what I do remember. There was no complaints on that part. So, but that's the figures we have here today. Nice figures, great additions into the collection here. I am very happy. I knew I had one, and the price had dropped down from when I had first ordered it. I think when I first ordered it, this was at about 20, and I think it's sitting about 14 now. So I picked up an extra one. And this, when I ordered it, it was pre-ordered, so it was our standard 25. So I had ordered 2 because I knew I was definitely going to want 2 for whatever we do. So today I think that's sitting about like 30, 38, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I do want to just let you be aware of that it's going to be a little bit more expensive. I'm happy I had pre-ordered it so I could get it at that lower price range. I think you're just going to see the price on these go up because I think the popularity of them will be increasing. So with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next video.